What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. So I want to do a really quick review of Monday Night Raw's debut on Netflix. Now, if I sound or seem a little sleepy, it's because I am. I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. I got to wake up early for work, but I wanted to talk about this before I went to sleep. Now, before we get into this, guys, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into this. So first and foremost, I want to give a salute to Netflix and WWE for making sure this was an amazing streaming experience, right? We already saw what happened with Logan Paul and Mike Tyson, and we saw what happened with the NFL on Netflix, which went really well. This one here absolutely went really good. There was no loss of quality, there was no buffering, I didn't get kicked out of Netflix. So I just want to say salute to Netflix and WWE for making sure this went well. And speaking of that, I love the presentation of the show, from the swooping drones with the cameras getting shots of the crowd, from the LED lights into the crowd as well. The mat wasn't a distraction as much as people thought it was, with the advertisements all over it. I almost didn't notice it during the matches, and I loved how they set up the entrance to have, you know, gorilla position at the bottom with the LED above the top, and then above the LED boards you saw the crowd on top of that. So whenever the cameraman got a shot of that, it just looked beautiful. And also what was absolutely beautiful was the intro to the show, where they had this video package going through the history of Monday Night Raw, and that gave me chills. I thought that was a fantastic way to start the show. Now let's just talk about the matches themselves. Now here's the thing, I went into this kind of expecting some matches to kind of give us an idea of what they're going to do next, but I felt like we didn't really get that tonight, and that's perfectly fine. It didn't take away from the show. Even some matches where I felt like were finite, where I thought that they were going to continue with something else, but maybe they will, but they didn't give it all tonight. But that's the reason why you continue watching wrestling, right? But I think we got some really good matches tonight. Every match felt like it was a WrestleMania contender match, especially the tribal combat match between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. It kind of gave me the feel of the Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 feel, when all these random people started to come in, and it wasn't random, but people just came out to help out the other people, from Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga coming out to help out Solo Sikoa, to Jimmy Uso, to Sami Zayn coming out to help out Roman Reigns. It was a nice touch. It made it feel like a big match, and ultimately at the end we saw that Roman Reigns got the pin. And Solo Sikoa, they gave this man a lot of plot armor for this match. He kicked out of almost everything. Even Roman Reigns kicked out of almost everything, but it still made the match a lot of fun. And it's interesting what they did with The Rock here. I thought that was a really interesting choice, because it felt like everything that kind of happened before tonight didn't happen. From when The Rock greeted Cody Rhodes, I know that was him outside of kayfabe, but even to greet Cody Rhodes again backstage, it kind of was like, okay, why Cody Rhodes, he just gave you the butt whooping of your life with your own belt last year before WrestleMania. So how are you guys cool again? I don't know how that whole situation worked. But what's more interesting is, once Roman Reigns won the match, we saw what happened. We saw that Paul Heyman was asked by The Rock to give him the Ula Fala. I thought at that point The Rock was going to take it and put it around his neck, but in fact he put it around the neck of Roman Reigns. And I thought at any point in time, just given the camera angle and given the way The Rock was looking at Roman Reigns, I'm like, okay, he's gonna either rock bottom him or do something to him at any point in time. And he didn't do anything at all. They both walked out the ring like nothing ever happened. And it's kind of weird what they're doing with The Rock. I feel like at this point they're probably gonna have him kick Solo Sikoa out of the bloodline, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe that's the beauty of it, that we don't know anything, and then we gotta wait until they show us what's going to happen next. And sometimes that's a great part of any televised TV show. So I thought this match was fantastic. I thought the match between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan was really good. Both women looked really good in the match, but with Rhea Ripley winning this, I hope that after this, you know, this whole situation is done, that they move both women to two different brands. I don't want them to be in the same locker room. I don't want them breathing the same air. Keep them on two two separate brands so they can go ahead and build their career without each other. I thought this was a great show out by Rhea Ripley. It was nice to see The Undertaker come back out as his old gimmick and then show some love to Rhea Ripley. I thought that was a great shot. I thought he was going to cut a promo, but maybe they didn't have enough time for that, so he just rode around his motorcycle, did the arm gesture or the fist up in the air with Rhea Ripley, and I thought that was a cool moment for her. Now let's talk about Hulk Hogan. So Hulk Hogan comes out and he starts to cut a promo, and nobody in the crowd was feeling it. It's what were you expecting to happen in that situation, Triple H? You should have known that he was going to get booed out. There isn't a single fan of Hulk Hogan in the state of California, I believe. So why bring him out for that situation? That added nothing to it. It didn't take anything away from the show, but I thought that that was just crazy. The way that they were booing him, you would think Dominic Mysterio was out there, but he wasn't. And speaking of Dominic Mysterio, just to go back on the previous match, it was very interesting to see after Rhea Ripley won her match, Dominic Mysterio tried to give her a hug, and she obviously hit him with the riptide. And that makes you wonder what's going to happen next, because I'm sure Liv Morgan is going to get word of him trying to hug Rhea after the match is over. So how are they going to play into the split between those two? I guess we'll have to wait until the next episode of Monday Night Raw to see how that whole situation happened. The next up, we had Jey Uso, which in his entrance, he came out with Travis Scott doing the yeet chant, and the crowd was going crazy. As usual, seeing the crowd do yeet with the Jey Uso entrance is always an amazing sight to see, and I thought they did a pretty good match. Jey Uso just snuck out a win against Drew McIntyre, so obviously that feud isn't over. I felt like that was really the only match that I felt like that it was a clear a view of what's going to happen next in that feud, so they got to continue it on. Drew McIntyre didn't look too happy after the match was over, so they obviously are going to continue this feud on in the future. In the last match that we had of the night, the main event between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, another one I thought was a really good match. They had a great showing, and CM Punk won this match. So then now it's just like, okay, are we going to get a best of 3 in this? Because I feel like that's what they do with these feuds that's filled with hatred, whether we're talking about, Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes, where they had the best of 3, where Seth Rollins was 0-3, or we're talking about CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, or even we can just talk about Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. They've had multiple matches going, so I feel like they're going to continue this into something else. If not, I don't know where they're going to go, but ultimately, overall, I thought it was a really solid show. Now, the thing is that I thought was kind of questionable, not something that I really hate about the show, but it was the fact that Gunther was cutting a promo in a video package, which I thought was kind of strange. I mean, he's your current champion on Monday Night Raw, so why not have him come on TV to talk about those things? Because it would be great to get the fans who haven't watched wrestling in a long time to get them acclimated to who he is as a champion, and you didn't get that, so I thought that was really interesting. The other thing is to have some of your Raw superstars sitting up front, whether we're talking about the Viking Raiders, or we're talking about the War Raiders, or we're talking about, LA Knight or Braun Breaker, even Braun Breaker and Viking Raiders, those 3 individuals in the front without their titles was kind of strange, because again, even though us as wrestling fans know who these people are, the people who are watching Monday Night Raw on Netflix have no idea who they are. And I think if they wore their championships, it'll show who these people are and how important these people are, so people can say, hey, those guys are holding championships. Let me go ahead and check out who these people are, and maybe they'll get invested into the wrestlers themselves. I feel like on that part, they kind of felt short as far as getting people to understand who these people are, these random people. They had Dakota Kai show up, Io Sky show up, which, I thought was great. They were also sitting in the crowd. And then they had some celebrities there, which celebrities always make things feel like it's bigger than what they are, as far as like, war shows and things like that. And it was big. And the whole thing was back. You had Vanessa Hudgens, you had Fluffy there, you had so many different other people there, and I thought that was a great touch, the entire thing, to make it feel bigger, as a show, especially since they were in Los Angeles. That was a great touch of everything. But overall, at the end of the day, I said this is going to be a quick review, but overall, I loved the show. I thought it was solid. I was kind of hoping that there would be a return there. If you did not see my video about Penta and how he should, come into Monday Night Raw on the debut of Netflix, I think they still could have did that, because Rey Mysterio is there. If you have not seen the video, check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. But overall, I loved it. I thought it was a really solid show. I love the animated match cards they have now. The presentation was fantastic. But overall, it was a really good show, really good show. So what do you guys think? Did you like Raw's debut on Netflix? Is there something you did not like about the show? Let's talk about it in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm gonna go put pajamas on. I can't even talk. I'm about to go put some pajamas on and go to sleep. Thank you guys so much. Salute, peace, have a great day.